Rodolfo Ramos, Bradesco BBI's Mexico strategist, and welcome to That's What's What in Mexico, our bi-weekly video product. As you can see today, we couldn't bring you very close to the action to one of the stadiums here in New York and New Jersey, but we did bring you here to the Great Lawn in Central Park, where behind me they're actually setting up for the Fan Fest for the World Cup. So hopefully this is festive enough for everyone, and we did wear our Mexico jersey here in support of our team. So hopefully you enjoy this backdrop here. In terms of our content today, we're going to keep it short and sweet here. We're going to focus entirely on the U.S.-Mexico discussions and dynamics, and also we're going to close with some thoughts on the World Cup and what it means for Mexico. So kicking off here with our first point of discussion, this U.S.-Mexico dynamics, we have seen Mexico turn much more assertive in these negotiations, in these discussions, than it had ever done during this second Trump administration. We saw for the first time Sheinbaum really taking a much more assertive stance during a speech at the Revolution Monument in Mexico City, taking a stance against this U.S. interventionism in Mexico. To that, few days after, we saw actually AMLO send a letter to Trump where basically he heightens this rhetoric and makes it clear his disapproval of this U.S. policy towards Mexico. So this is the first time that we have seen, and we have yet to see the U.S. acknowledge, even respond to this news flow. Of course, former President AMLO is no longer in politics, and this is something that it will be up to Sheinbaum, but we did see her stand by this letter as well. So far, it has not been enough to derail this very constructive dialogue that we've seen. As a matter of fact, the U.S. ambassador to Mexico, Ronald Johnson, has recently continues to highlight the very tight cooperation that we've seen between Mexico and the U.S. In different matters that are critical for the bilateral agenda. So this is great news, but this is something that we're going to have to be monitoring going forward, and specifically what it means for the trade discussions. As we have mentioned before, we have and continue to be optimistic on the USMCA review process. As we mentioned before, we seem to be on track. We have already set the timeline for these negotiations later this month, and concluding with the third bilateral talk on July 20th. Of course, this is running behind already the original scheduled review, which was slated for July 1st. But nonetheless, this is significantly better than what many trade experts point towards to and highlight that we could default to these annual reviews even until next year. And also having an agreement on the review this year would be extremely positive, not just for Mexico's economy, gross fixed investment, and other metrics, but also for nearshoring and on the investment side, on the equity side. So this is something that we still see as a catalyst for Mexico, and of course investors are very much on top of this. Now, moving on to our second point of discussion here on the World Cup, Mexico City is and the other cities as well, Guadalajara, Monterrey, they are not new to hosting large scale events. We have seen different interest groups within Mexico trying to take advantage of the situation and leverage that into negotiations with the government. This, of course, could be disruptive, but as we mentioned, Mexico City is not new to big scale events, and we believe that things will go rather smoothly in the World Cup. So we continue to be excited on the front, and this has important implications for several sectors in Mexican equities. Airports, for example, will see a sharp increase in traffic, in passenger traffic during those weeks, and also consumption. We have seen, for example, bottlers already reporting good numbers going into the World Cup. So we do believe, and of course, Coke has done several studies of other World Cups, and consumption does increase significantly. And in a country where soda consumption and beverage consumption it's so ingrained within the culture, we do believe that Mexico is probably going to a surprise on the upside there. So these are two sectors that are likely going to feel a very direct impact from this greater activity from the World Cup. So this is basically what we had for you today. We hope you find it informative here. And until the next time, we must take care. ¡Y vamos, México!